Show me your wink again, close up. Yeah, that's tragic. We need to work on
didn't
that.
do
You
it.
didn't blink.
I just blinked. David Stevens goalie kit in
Yeah.
96. That's how I kind of got into football. I was just like, I want to wear this red long sleeve top.
Whatever club Ruesha ends up at, if she does get one, touch wood, I'll be the biggest fan of that club as well.
I always do things the hard way, so we're just out here training and hopefully a team will take a punt on a good-looking old gal like me. There's bits of the men's game that I think players would like to see, like chants at games, the singing from crowds, the atmosphere. You're now starting to get people that are going to start being more opinionated. We used to have games at Glasgow City v Hibs, and they were heated.
I remember Ruesha, maybe 18 years old, Boreham Wood, Meadow Park, Arsenal youth, counted maybe 10 people there. You are a recording artist, singer, songwriter, and I'm now just
Am I? It's called I Got Too Sad for My Friends, which happened. I'm so sorry to my record labels.
Hello and welcome back to The Kickback. My name's Shebahn, flying solo this week whilst the evil twin sister Ruesha is a free agent and around the world trying to find her next club. Don't worry though, she has still found a way to be involved in today's show. We're going to hear from her and we'll hear from Alessia Russo and Lotte Woman Moy on that Arsenal win over City and the impact of the mighty Rennie Slegers. Plus, we're going to be joined here in the studio by singer Shura on the release of her new album and her time playing for Manchester City youth. But first, I caught up with our Ruesha last night.
Hello,
Hi, Cass.
how are we?
I'm good. I miss you. Do you miss me?
No, I can't believe you're upstairs and I'm downstairs. That's weird, isn't it? We're doing a Zoom like that. But here we are.
We know where you are, or do we know where you are?
Do we?
I don't
How
know.
do
Are you talking about where you are? Like, what's your story?
You got an air tag on me? You big freak.
I just
Wouldn't
know
surprise
'cause
me.
I know everything, but
Right.
like,
No, I'm currently in Tampa, in Florida. I've been here about 4 or 5 days now. I just thought I need to get out of London. By the way, see, after being here a few days, obviously came a few weeks back, and I came back. I actually think that you and your family should leave England and go to the sunshine. You, for one, would probably look better.
I'm a ghost today. I'm an actual ghost on Zoom.
Even just like you as an all-round person would probably be better. Genuinely.
I think we all do better in the sunshine. Is that like not an actual fact of life though? Like vitamin D?
Yeah, but then do you ever sit back and think about it? Why do you live in such a place at times? Pure miserable, pure rainy, pure dull. Everyone's charging about in a big huff. And you think, it's like when you go on holiday, you're like, oh, that was so nice. But like people actually just live their life in a better place at times.
In a holiday environment. Tampa feels like that.
Yeah.
Tampa feels that it should be that way. But if you want, I can send the kids out and, you know, I'll have a holiday at home.
Do you know what? I don't think they've got an ESTA or a visa, so we'll just give it a miss for now, Cass.
Okay. No babysitting coming up. I mean, what's your plan? Like, you're a free agent now. Where you don't have a club. Like, what's happening? Tell the people what is happening.
I actually don't know. Well, I do know that I'm still unemployed. I'm still very much unemployed. Basically, I've come back out to Florida to train. Tampa-based sons are letting me train with them while I'm here, which is fantastic. I'm very grateful for that opportunity to use the facilities and stay fit in a team environment, and hope that I get selected for the next Ireland camp, which I don't know if I will or not, because obviously there's going to be people playing competitive matches and stuff, so we'll see what happens there. I'm doing all I can to stay in the best possible shape and chance of getting selected. I tried to train with a couple of teams back home. Obviously, I live with you in St Albans. I tried to train with a couple of teams back home, but that wasn't happening. I wasn't allowed, which is a little bit disappointing, but now I get to do it in the sunshine, so that's good. So obviously it's January. I think teams don't have budgets. I did say at the time when everything went on, I was like, I'm going to really struggle to probably get a team now. I'm 34. I think people think you've probably not been available again, but I've been available for the last 4 months, 3-4 months. So that's that. That's the way it's going. I think when you start to go older, teams will want to bring in younger players and develop them. So why have a senior player in your squad? But I still think teams could do with a senior player. Obviously, I wouldn't train every day. Is that another problem? And also, I think probably doing stuff like this and podcasts can be a problem for teams. So that's the way it is, but I'm not going to change. I need to
No, you're not
move
going to
forward.
change?
I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change. But I need to keep doing what I'm doing. Football's not setting me up for life. I can't kick back and relax and smoke a cigar at my private pool because I don't have that luxury. So this is my next step, my next career. We all know I was absolutely muck at school. Don't really like studying, so getting to chat on podcasts and have fun is a bit of me. So that's what's next after football. So I can't stop that to keep teams happy. Obviously, I can play by the rules a bit, and
a bit
in terms of if they don't want me to speak about certain things, that's fine. But that's the way it is. So I think maybe we're now looking at the next step. But obviously, right now I'm not closing the door. Things are never easy, are they? So I always do things the hard way. So we're just out here training, and hopefully a team will take a punt on a good-looking old gal like me.
You said you were good looking. I mean, are you feeling sad about it yet, or are you just still feeling positive? You're not allowed to let that kind of negativity creep in?
No, I think I had a moment or two. Maybe obviously a couple of weeks ago when everything was happening at my previous club, and then I was like, right, no, it's fine. You push forward, you think of ways that you can maybe make things work. But I think then when you can't train with a team, you're like, right, am I like absolute or there's a serious problem here? And that can be a wee bit like, okay. But again, is it just a bump in the road? We crack on. The thing is, it's January, and I don't see myself getting a team until January. That's why I thought I could go and train my team and keep fit, and you never know what can happen. But that's not worked out either. So here I am out here, I'm lucky that I'm getting this chance to be out here, I guess, and stay fit and be in the team environment like we touched on. But yeah, it's upsetting, but I'm still pushing forward, and things change fast in football. So you've just got to keep that little bit of belief, and hopefully things will change, and we'll get a wee rub of the green and see what's what. If not, OnlyFans will be imminent.
I just don't know if OnlyFans is going to work for you.
Why?
Whole this whole thing.
I don't know. I
mean, some people do make a real living out of that. Cass, everything cross for you, man. I hope you get another opportunity, and yeah, keep the faith, keep going strong, keep being a good person. That's all you can do.
I think people think I'm a right.
Well, there's that.
I'm not even that bad.
Yeah. What's Tampa like? Like, I mean, I know you say the sun shines out and all that kind of stuff, and it feels like a nicer quality of life, but like, what are the people like? What's Tampa, the club like?
Yeah, I think Tampa's a really cool place. It's a really sort of nice atmosphere. Just sort of downtown, there's another area, Ybor it's called, which is near the training ground, which is got a nice vibe to it. And then obviously you've got beaches and stuff nearby. So there I was down at a beach the other day, just sitting there, beached well, just getting hit by the sun. Absolutely delicious.
Do you do topless on the beach?
No, but I could. I'd probably just look like a little boy running about. Nobody would know otherwise. So. But that's just having that. It was funny. I was sitting there lying, the next thing a family just sort of came down from us. So it must have been they finished school, and then they rock up to the beach to play in the water, and you're just like, what a nice way. There's another couple, and they've got the dog, and the dog's just swimming in the sea. I'm like, that's just beautiful. That's just so nice. Obviously, then the club. That's a really nice group of girls. I don't mean to say this to sound bad, but sometimes I think Americans can have poor banter, but they've been actually all right. Aye, they've been decent.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. Obviously, I've been sort of quiet right now, keeping myself to myself because I don't want to be asked to leave the building anytime soon. So I'm just sort of lying low right now. Training was absolutely scorchy the other day. I thought, am I okay? Is everything okay? Is my heart coming out my mouth? But I got through it. Do
you feel fit? Do you feel fit and physically available to go and start a game this weekend?
A game, probably not a game. I could probably play minutes in the game, but to start a game, probably 45. I'm actually good at that. I've not playing much and then just going, right, we're into it. Sometimes I think it's all in the head. So if you're training with a team, I think that helps. At training, depends what you're doing. I think especially out here when it's warm, you're sort of being challenged that bit more, playing, training in the heat, which helps. But physically, I'm feeling okay. Kind of up in my sessions, double sessions, because I think over the last maybe month or whatever, you kind of then have a bit of a, oh, poor me, after obviously the Euros disappointment. And probably not being on the absolute athlete diet. So it's nice to be back on track with all that. Yeah. Which is actually nice when you get into that kind of health kick away. I think as people think we're wrong, a lot of players are very strict, but some of us like to kind of enjoy wee treats here and there, and sometimes you can slip off a little bit and you're like, oh, I need to get back to it. So it's nice actually doing that. Obviously I've got the goal of trying to be back in Ireland camp for the Nations Leagues matches. But look, that might not happen, but at least I can put myself in the sort of best possible place to hopefully be there. Yeah. But yeah, I'll probably cast, if I'm being honest with you, I've got a wee bit of a pound or two to lose. Just trim up a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But that's fine. I'm out here sweating my off. I'm on the bike, I'm on the pitch, and it's going to be fine. So I like to say we're like flowers and we don't blossom all year round, Cassim.
Honestly, it's Poetry Week next week. Get a new tattoo, honey. That was stunning. Do you want to hear about some of the things going on back here? A headline here in front of me: no place in society for abuse of players. Millie Bright put up a post on Instagram, and Bunny Shaw was racially abused, which I have seen and heard before from for Bunny Shaw and things that she's received at games before in the past and also on social media, which is awful. It's happened again, and then there's going to be a full investigation to the appalling abuse, a full open investigation. Millie Bright, as I say, she went on social media to say that she heard fans in the stand at the weekend talking about how poor she is as a player. And, as players, they give their absolute everything. They try to meet with the fans at the end of the game, all of that kind of thing. And she's glad that she heard it about herself because, other people can't handle and shouldn't have to put up with abuse like that. What's your initial thoughts on this?
Obviously, the Bunny Shaw one. It just isn't acceptable, and that won't be condoned anywhere. I think we always touch on how women's football is so inclusive for everyone. So why the hell that has been brought into it, I don't know. Especially this day and age, I think the women's football community normally is bang on with a lot of stuff. Are we starting to see things change as the game is growing and the numbers of attendances and fans watching the game? Does that mean is there different fans coming along? But yeah, that won't be tolerated, and it's great that the WSL are going to be putting an investigation into it and hopefully nip it in the bud. It's not acceptable and it won't be tolerated. Women's football is for everyone, so it doesn't matter what colour your skin is, what your gender is, or sexual orientation. Nothing will be tolerated in a negative capacity. So, yeah. On the second point, I think with Millie Bright, again, the game has grown, and I know we try not to compare women's football to the men's game, and there's bits of the men's game that I think players would like to see, like chants at games, the singing from crowds, the atmosphere. We all want that, and I think with the game growing and becoming so big, you're now starting to get people that are going to start being more opinionated on players, whether that's at the match, whether that's on social media, and whatnot. I think you know yourself, Cass, I get absolutely slaughtered, and so do you. So we know how it feels, if you know what I mean. And I think there's a bit with that as a player and as a person, we're going to need to try and really turn a blind eye to that, because I don't know how you stop that. Yeah. Because like we say, it's football and it's a game of opinions, and it's not an easy place. So I think as players, hopefully there's going to be more support there as the game is growing. Millie Bright will always be playing in front of big stadiums because she's shown that she's a quality player and she's a leader, and she deserves to be playing in the top teams right now. So it's something that we all need to deal with, and trying to block out that noise. I know what you say, it's like that one negative comment will stick with you instead of the 20 positive comments.
Yeah.
But it's a shame, but that's also the way the game's going in terms of opinions on players, and that is hard. But she's right in terms of at the end of the game as players, and I think that's another thing we touched on previously about I think some fans, the fans in the women's football, like to be part of it because I think they feel like they've got this close relationship and they've got a sort of bond with the players, which some of them do, which is really nice, and it's a nice part about the women's game. But as the game's growing, there's going to be more fans, and players can't always have time to see all the fans, and she's saying she's doing her best to try and make the fans feel that they're grateful for coming to the games and they're valued and they appreciate them. So she's saying just, cop on a bit, that we're trying to do that too, so be a bit more respectful to us.
Yeah.
I think we've touched on it at Arsenal games and stuff now, they're not really getting to go with the crowd. I think their security are maybe keeping them away because there is too many people. You'd be there for literally 5 hours trying to go through everyone or longer. It's not possible anymore.
Millie Bright said, please may I remind you that as players, we are not collectibles, we are not robots, we're humans the same as you. And I reckon if Millie Bright turned to one of the Chelsea fans and remotely suggested that their I don't know, their appearances, SHIT, or their I don't know, look at you, you have no doubt that it would be the chance to hang out these players to dry. It would always be used against them. So the fact that for so long, so many players in all football keep their head down, and do try and block out the noise. I do look and go, there's nothing wrong with Millie Bright putting this up here and going, hold on a minute, just let's get a grip, and I do love the carnival atmosphere of women's football. I do love that it's like selfies and we're all dancing to Vanessa Amorosi, and I like that. That's what I want to be in. You do get the housery now in women's football on the pitch, which I also think's good for football in a way. But you're right, with that, with more attendances, with more people coming in, you're going to get the wrong-uns kind of thing. It's how you block out that noise. And honestly, I think we have to, you're right, Ruesha, we get it tight a lot of the time. I get it really, really badly.
Every day, Cass.
Every day.
Except for the weekend when you're not on.
No, even the weekend. The weekends, it's creeping into the weekend. So I know what it's like, but the more it happens, sometimes you can build a resilience to it. It's not acceptable, but it's going to happen. So it's like, okay, how do you deal with that then? How do you make it your mental strength to push through it and make sure that doesn't win and that doesn't creep into your psyche? Because you're there doing a job for a reason. You're there because you're good. Millie Bright, as you say, a quality player, playing at a quality.
That's what I wanted to say. That, sorry to butt in here, but Millie Bright will be sitting going, who are you? I've won the league how many times? I've won a Euros. I've won an FA Cup. I've got X amount of caps for my country. Who are you?
Who are you calling? Who are you calling? It's like, she'd probably not feel a little toed out.
This fan is the next Marta. She might be like, all right, cool, but it's probably not. That's what's funny, because I totally get it. You're just like, who the are you? Yeah. Like, what have you done to absolutely cane me?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've got a good career. I've been quite a successful footballer. I'm still trying to pave the way, and I'm still trying to play at the top level here. Who are you? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, on that,
Okay, no, fair. I'm absolutely all for that, and I think that's a very, very good point. This person is a nobody who's done nothing, and had Millie Bright confronted the person face to face, they'd have their pants probably.
I would have. I'm
not going to fight with Millie Bright, that's for sure. But stay strong.
We should do that. Get you set up and the big balloon balls. You, Millie Bright, 50-50, man. She'd send you to Florida probably. She'd be like, ping. That'd be funny. I'd pay to watch that.
I'll meet you there. Yeah, so that's what's happening here. Also, the Champions League draw is tomorrow, Friday.
Oh, is it? I knew that.
Yeah, and well, what's interesting is that, of course, there's 3, we'll call them British sides in it. English sides, really. English sides in it. And what's taken a turn is the Manchester City situation, Rue, because obviously they were beaten by Arsenal at the weekend. The cup games tonight. It's like, when you think City were so positive in that match day one, they have dropped off in the league title race. You said that would happen, kind of thing, but they've got so many star players. I think they could still do damage in the Champions League.
I hate to say it, but I'm probably right again. I'm sure I've called it for the last few years who will win the league early on in the season. Nobody listens to me. I think Chelsea are running away with it again. Credit to Arsenal for, still cracking on under Rennie Slayers and getting the job done. Man City will be extremely disappointed, especially with the squad that they've got right now. I know they've still got a few Alex Greenwood is a humongous loss to Man City team.
And Lauren Hemp.
It's like the two of them are. So, but on the attacking front, they've still got players that can do damage. Again, we've got Viv Miedema popping up another goal. But I think the leading at the back, Alex Greenwood, is huge. And she's kind of right now, she's currently irreplaceable, so massive loss for Man City. Credit to Arsenal, but Chelsea are still sitting going, they'll be quite happy with that result, I'm sure.
So what's interesting with the draw as well, that Arsenal and Chelsea both top their groups, and then they will be drawn against the runners-up. So Man City could still be drawn against Arsenal or Chelsea because there's no country protection, so you can play the teams from your own country. So we're likely going to see an English side in a semi-final. Likely.
That's exciting. Yeah, I think that's really exciting. When it happens in the men's Champions League, everyone loves to watch it. It'll be amazing to see that happening with two massive clubs and just everything around it. It'll be great for the game in England, of growing that, and hopefully it's an exciting game. I think all fans, neutral fans, will be intrigued to watch that, and obviously being a supporter, you'll be a wee bit up the walls because I'm sure it'll be a very intense game. Who are you supporting?
In the Champions League, Rush, I know you hate it, but I like Arsenal. I know everyone's like, you're so harsh on Arsenal at the minute. And I'm like, because they can be better than this. They can be better. You want them to still be the club that can lead the way. They're the only English club that's won the friggin' Champions League.
But I think if you look at them right now, yes, back in the day they did, but you can't constantly live off that. They players aren't playing anymore, so the players have got to step up. But what I will say is, in the last X amount of games, they've had one defeat. So they are, and it was against Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? So they are starting to kick on. Be interesting to see how Chloe Kelly is, and will she bring a new energy again to the team going forward?
I mean, Chloe Kelly in that Champions League, I'm like, this could be her chance to be like, get that right round you, Man City, in the situation there. She's a big game player. That's what we know from Chloe Kelly. So the fact that she's available to Arsenal for the Champions League, I think it makes it all the more exciting for them. We saw them get to the semis, of course, the second leg at the Emirates when they went out against Wolfsburg. Before, that was a couple of seasons ago now. I look and think Chloe Kelly will be an unbelievable addition to that side.
She is a quality player. We all know that, and she's probably a different player from what England have. She was a different player in the Man City squad, and now Arsenal. She's unique in how she plays her game. And she's very good at it, and now she's obviously she's wanting to she doesn't need to prove to anyone, let's be honest, she doesn't, but she's going to have that hunger. As a player, you've always got that wee bit of you want to show people, so she's going to want to silence people, any critics out there. She's going to want to go, I could have played in the Man City side, I can. And now she's going to take the bull by the horns and go, right, Arsenal, new challenge, and hope Serena Wigman is watching her, and she'll be wanting to get as many minutes under her belt as possible.
Okay, putting this out there, was anybody else fooled by the beef that is Chloe Kelly and McCabe? I was so fooled. I thought that was a genuine dislike for each other. I know what happens on the pitch stays on the pitch, but it always seemed like a genuine beef matchup kind of thing where they didn't like each other. And then she goes to Arsenal, it's like, buddy, buddy, buddy. I'm like, come on!
No, I think it's good that it's part of the game. I think when you're playing, I actually think now having that in the game is good, because I think it's dying out. I think we know Kate McCabe is that kind of player. When she's on the pitch, you're her enemy, kind of. When you're playing opposition, that's the way it is, and that's the way it should be. But that's old school, and that's kind of brings us at a competitive edge. But even at training, if you've got a bit of Barney at training, I'm like, that's good.
Yeah.
I mind a while back there, an old team, there was a few words exchanged, and then it was at the end of the game, it was like, oh, girls, we can't be doing that, that's not on. I was like, shut it, it's fine. It was words, it happened.
Who was it?
I can't say because I'm probably not allowed to say anyone's names, who really knows. But it was like people. It was funny because I was from a generation where that happened every other day at football, and then it's almost becomes it's dying out. And I understand it's funny being here in America because everything's so positive, and it's good because you can probably learn from that and take some of that. But
yeah,
I'm from a time where it was like if one or two things were you were told, and it was like come on, tidy up. But the younger generation these days cannot deal with that. So when you see players like Kate McCabe and Chloe Kelly doing that on the pitch, it shows that they were up for a scrap, they were up for a battle, and that's good. And then when the whistle goes, it's done. You leave it on the pitch and you shake hands at the end of the game, and that's it. That's good. That's healthy. That's football. And now they're in the same team, so they're going to be backing each other up. I love when you get players that you come against and you're like, oh, because you'll have that as a team. You go, she's an oh, can't stand her, blah, 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 honestly. But then if they're in your team, you love it because you're probably going to have each other's back. And it's good to have players like so, yeah.
Who was the player for you that made you feel that way playing against the football pitch that really like just got under your skin or gave that needle in the game?
God, there's been a few, but I would be rolling back the years to early on in my career. Yeah, there'd be a lot that had went on. We used to have games at Glasgow City v Hibs. And they were heated. But I was taught going into Glasgow City, it was like they were the enemies, Hibs were the enemies, blah, blah, blah. And I totally bought into that because that's the way it was. And obviously being from Glasgow, you'd have like your big rivalries in the city of Glasgow. And then when it came to the women's game, you didn't have the teams. So it was like you hated the best team at the time. And they had like, at the time, it would have been all the old Scotland players would have played for Hibs. And there was a lot of things that went on and it was just always so heated. And there was good players playing, but at the same time it was so physical and it was so intense and you were always waiting like, oh, I'm going to get done here, and you were all that like hesitation, anticipation of being smacked from nowhere. But the games don't happen anymore really. Last time I had a game like that would have been pre-World Cup against Colombia. That was a game where I was like, yeah.
This friend Magda Ramirez actually was laughing at you.
She's like,
about
done me a belter, man. She done me with a tackle through my gut and my ankle. I was like, how was that possible? You should see my bruises and my marks. She absolutely done me. And then I was like, I'm raging. But there'd been a lot that had went on before that. And it was just getting so heated. But she just was laughing at me. And I was thinking, I want to. I'm like, I'm going to get battered. But I was still up for it. I was was like, come on, you dafty. But that was funny. But like touching on that, I don't even know how much I'm allowed to say about this, but it's done. It's fine. It was done now. They were so good. Like Colombia before that, it was so funny before that. It was like changing rooms, and then we were lining up in the tunnel to go out to play the game, and they were nowhere to be seen. The ref was going to the changing room to get them, and they weren't in the changing room. And then we were like, right, well, we're going out, ref. We're getting cold. Let us keep warm. So we went out on the pitch, and then I think there was these chants coming from the car park, and I think they were in the car park with the fans singing and chanting. It was wild. And then they came out, and then whatever had happened, line up, and then it was like they went to their bench to have a wee team debrief. And again, we're standing on the pitch waiting for kickoff, and it was like the house today they done was fantastic. But I was like, now looking back, it was like they won the kind of mental war with us, and they were pissing us off. They'd done fantastic in the tournament. Like, credit to them. And they get some absolute quality players in that Colombia side, and you're seeing that now. But what they done, that different style of football, different set of mental tactics, the housery, and that's all part of their culture and their game, and they bloody nailed it.
Yeah. I remember you saying at the time it was wild, and then I remember when I got out to Australia and seeing you and seeing the bruises, and you had like marks here and there and everywhere, and you were like, I don't know how she managed to get through me so much. But like you say, I remember you called it when she comes to the WSL. She will bully defenders, and she is a proper handful in front of goal, and she's just been exceptional. That she really has. You can't take that away from anyone, that's for sure. Looks like I've got no arms.
It does. Where have they went, Cass? You all right?
Hello
there. Surprise!
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 Right, I better let you go, Cass, because I know you've got training to go to, but stay in touch, keep us posted of anything, and hopefully, like, we'll see you back in the studio soon. I want to say hopefully, but hopefully under, like, good circumstances, not bad circumstances.
Well, we'll see, Cass. We'll see what happens. Fingers crossed I get a team. We don't know, but we keep cracking on over these next few weeks and see what's what.
Yeah, that's true. Cass, stay humble. We love you. Anybody that's got any questions for Rue and Rue's situation, jump in the comments. Ruesha, what's the advice to everyone? Remember, when you're watching the kickback, to
like and subscribe.
Send nudes. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
So earlier this week, Charlie Baker and Paul Hawksby caught up with Alessia Russo and Lotte Wubben-Moy on that 4-3 win over Manchester City and the permanent appointment of Rennie Slegers. Here you go.
That was a good win, wasn't it, the other day? It sort of keeps you in those Champions League places. But I mean, I don't know, you're more concentrating, I suppose, when you're playing the game on winning it. But was a cracking game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great game for a fan to play in. It was a little bit more intense, but yeah, it was important to get a win. Going to City away is tough, and they're a top side as well. So yeah, we won in different ways this season, and 4-3, there was lots going on in the game, but yeah, ultimately 3 points is what we wanted, and yeah, we took that, and it's put us in good stead going forward for the rest of the season. I actually met a young deaf girl called Izzy about 2 years ago. She left a massive impression on me, and since then, I don't score often, by the way. Since then, I've tried to bring in the deaf community as much as I can. She told me to do a celebration once, which was like crossing my arms and smiling and doing like a wiggle, and now the sign for gunners in BSL, which is your thumb and index finger pointed up over kind of the Arsenal badge or over your heart.
Okay.
Tapping it. I'd say it's the new kind of badge tap, but in a cooler way, bringing in the deaf community and allowing them to be seen, and bringing them into the community that is football, and a beautiful community at that one.
Our next guest here in the studio is singer-songwriter and record producer, but also played for Manchester City in her youth, despite being a Manchester United fan. We'll grill her on that. She was also one of the artists that was on the Call Me a Lioness single, which was, of course, released for the 2024 Women's World Cup. Welcome to the studio, Shura.
Welcome to the kickback.
Show me your wink again, close up. Yeah, that's tragic. We need to work on
I
that.
didn't do it.
Just blink?
I was just blinking. I was just blinking. You didn't even give me a chance.
Right, go do it.
Okay, wait. Focus.
Okay.
It's sort of like, no, it can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I can do both eyes.
That's great. That was a great look for you.
Ruesha was just saying, Ruesha is my twin, who's usually there in this chair, is out trying to find a club. And we were talking about her on the beach, and sometimes she'll go topless, like a lot of women or men do.
Yeah.
But she's like, but people would just think, oh, there's a little boy. So we were just talking about that.
One of my fave pictures of me is like as an 11-year-old in like boys swimming shorts and like a fake tattoo, and I was like, the closet was glass.
Fine. That is fine.
Yeah.
And how was that for you then? You just knew you were comfortable in yourself?
I loved it. I just didn't. My twin is a boy, and he
I love that
just
you're a
didn't.
twin as well.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And that's what he wore, and I was just like, I want to wear what Nick's wearing.
Yeah.
You know.
Were your parents ever like, no, you're pink? Or were they just
They
like,
really weren't
long as she's
actually.
happy?
Yeah, luckily they weren't. But I mean, I think always from just super young age, like it was just clear that I was a massive tomboy. I remember, not sure how relevant this is, but going to a ballet class when we were like 5. And because my twin really wanted to dance, he really wanted to do ballet. And I turned up and I had to wear a tutu, and I never went back, like just because of that. I was like, I'm not, no, this is not happening.
Well, surprise, surprise, we do have a tutu.
Great!
Getting wheeled in for you today.
Perfect.
We won't do that to you, Shura. It's funny because
Thank you.
like I've got twins who are boy and girl.
Yeah.
And they're 5, and she's gymnastics, and then to be fair, she's football, she's gymnastics, she's wanting to get in about everything, and I'm
Just
like,
all the things.
you be whatever you want to be. And then he's sometimes like, because I'm like, well, this is the chance to get an hour to myself. I'm like, you're also gymnastics, you're also football, you will be everything that your sister is, just so I can get a bloody minute.
Yeah.
And now he's like, no, Mum, I'm not going. And I'm like, okay. But it worked for a little while, you know.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, we just went off on another planet. But
Yeah, you can
this is
delete
quite
all of
nice.
that.
No, we're going to keep that.
We're going to keep it. And
Just
the
getting
wink.
to know you, Shura.
I don't know if you want to do that.
Tell us about your work. I mean, you're a women's football fan for a
Yeah.
start, which we love.
Yeah.
And you played football when you were in your youth for Man City,
Yeah.
but you're a Man United fan, and that is sacrilegious, apparently.
Yeah, so I mean, I moved to Manchester when I was about 6 years old, and I got into football because I don't know if you remember David Seaman's goalie kit in '96. It was like multicolored red, and red was like my favorite color. And I was like, I want to be a goalie. That's how I kind of got into football. I was just like, I want to wear this red long sleeve top because it's gorgeous. And then I kind of stopped growing, and that was an issue as a goalie because the goals kept getting bigger, but I did not. But I loved the color red, and like living in Manchester, got into football, and so it just sort of. To me, it was, I had to support United. It was also nice that they were very successful
a good time.
then. It was a good time.
United,
It was a good era. And then, I ended up playing for City. I mean, at that stage, City's women's team was just like a little bit more established. And I say that, like, but the bar was low back then. Like it was still like it was.
It's not
what it is now.
What it is now.
No.
You couldn't give Ciara Keaton a run for her money. Is this what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Right. Go. Yeah. Fair. And how long did you play football for?
I played from about the age of 9, 8, 9, to under 16s.
Oh.
So
wow. And you love still following the game.
yeah.
But you're an Arsenal woman. Right, see,
Yeah.
Shura's worse than me. Come for me all you want. I don't give a flying okay? Celtic fan born, have to support Manchester United because my husband made me. Arsenal women's fan. I don't have a problem with it. And sometimes, whatever club Ruesha ends up at, if she does get one, touch wood, I'll be the biggest fan of that club as well.
Perfect.
Is that
more
okay?
is more. More is more.
It's more opportunity to be happy.
Exactly, and I need that right now because as a fan of the United men's team, it's not good. It's not a good time.
Do you know, they've actually just launched this project, this reported project. It's called Mission 21 to try and get Manchester United to win their 21st title, right?
Yeah.
But also in part of this big ballpark project, which is called Mission 150, is to get Manchester United women to win the WSL. So there's projects set for both the men, both the women. And that for me, I'm like, okay, during this takeover, during this turbulent time, it seems like they're making it up for what may have seemed forgotten for a little while there.
Yeah. I mean, I think with the men's, it's just like, forget 21, let's just focus on winning a game. It'd be nice just to win one match.
It'd be nice not to get relegated, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I was blessed to witness an incredible era of football, and I think there's part of me that's just gone, well, maybe that's it. I had my fun, and now I'm going to be miserable.
This is very,
So this
very
is why
true.
more is more. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what about Arsenal then, women? What have you made of Rennie Slager's coming in and the job she's doing?
I mean, so I will say I grew up really, really following men's football. And so I am definitely not, I don't follow women's football as closely. Like I know kind of the broad strokes, and I go to the Emirates and also really love the fact that whenever I go to the Emirates to watch them, I find out all of my friends were there on Instagram afterwards, like because we're all just like posting the same stuff. But the reason also that I decided to, I mean, it's weird because I feel like so much of supporting a club is you never really get to decide, right? It's either you were born somewhere or or red is your favorite color and you're 5 years old, and that's. But I think I was sort of given this like almost I had this unique opportunity to maybe make a decision about who I would support when it comes to the WSL, and I was like, it feels kind of course I want the United women's team to do well, like I can't kind of get rid of that attachment, but it would feel kind of weird to follow them and like really cheer them on, having played for City. And I kind of want City to do well. So honestly, I'm so screwed. But I was living in London, I moved back to London, and I was like, maybe this is my time. Like I get to like make a decision as an adult about a football team. And lo and behold, I just happened to pick the most successful women's team. So like I am just a glory. No, people are going to say I'm a glory sport. Yeah, I just followed United when I was a kid, and now Arsenal women's. But no, I love going to the Emirates.
Yeah,
I think it's really emotional for me as someone who played, like to just see a stadium full and watching the women's game. And I literally never would have imagined that was even a possibility as a kid playing. It's really moving.
Yeah, no, it is. It's unbelievable. Like, I think I've said this before, Shura, but like, I remember Ruesha, maybe 18 years old, Boreham Wood, Meadow Park, Arsenal youth, counted maybe 10 people there. You know, like it has just taken off. And sometimes it's actually not celebrated enough. You know, maybe sometimes I don't celebrate it enough because I'm like, we'll just keep moving anyway, you know?
Yeah.
But then speaking to people like yourself who also played it then and probably didn't get appreciated and wasn't valued anywhere near what it is now, then it is emotional to see that, look at the journey, you know, the journey that they're on.
I was lucky enough to get to see the Euros final.
Yeah. That was unreal. Even I cried that day. Scottish, Irish.
Oh my God, don't say that.
I was half supporting Germany. I was like, England, you're fabulous. I mean, it was amazing.
It was like, I've seen games where, you know, I'm incredibly tense. You know, the entire United men's 99 season was just like absolutely unhinged. And I was at Wembley watching them, and by half time, I was shattered because my entire body was just sat there like so tense. Like I don't think I've ever, you know, I've been watching football for over a decade, ever wanted a team to win more, ever like cared more about a game.
You are a recording artist, singer, songwriter, and I'm now just talking to you like, breaking news. This is what you do for work now. And you've been doing so well, and you were on the Call Me a Lioness single for 2024 for the Women's World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it because you embody all of that. But talk to us about your career and what made you get into singing.
Honestly, I think realising, you know, growing up in Manchester and you know, the football season is winter, and it's cold. And I was a defender. My thing was slide tackling. So I was covered in mud, freezing. I would come into school the next day with like, my knee would be strapped. I'd have a graze. People would be like, what are you doing? Because football wasn't, no one, you know, you have a football, you can play football at school.
You were one of the only girls doing it then?
Yeah. They were like, who's that weirdo and why is she limping?
What's happened to her?
And I was like, instead of going out in December in the rain in shorts and a t-shirt, I can just stay in my room and play the guitar and be warm. And people think I'm really cool. And that didn't happen at all. They were like, who's the weirdo who's brought the guitar? Do you know what I mean? No, but my dad is kind of musical. He played guitar, and instead of like reading bedtime stories, we would do kind of songs about, I don't know, he'd write a song about a frog that was jumping, you know, like weird little songs for kids. And I just asked him to teach me a few chords, and that's sort of where it started. And I learned 3 chords and then spent the rest of the time trying to teaching myself how to play and writing.
And it's been going well. You're working on an album now.
Yeah, I finally finished an album. I have a new one. It's taken a minute, but it's called I Got Too Sad for My Friends, which did happen.
That was me earlier on. You know when? Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So with the pandemic and stuff, which is now years ago, of course, but it was just this period of time where I was living in America, actually in New York, and you know, was kind of separated from family and couldn't really write for, I don't know about other creative, I mean, some people are like, it was great, I didn't have to do anything else, I could just only write. And I found it really, really difficult, actually, to write in the beginning. I think because so much of what I write about is kind of personal experience, and if I'm just staying inside a house making 6-hour bolognese, you know, as delicious as the bolognese is, I don't know how much people want to hear me sing about it.
Of course, yeah.
So yeah, it took a minute, but
Yeah.
it finally happened.
So you're in a good place now.
Yeah.
You're moving forward with your music. Earlier on, before we came on air, I was like, you've got any gigs coming up? And she was like, yeah, but it's a secret. And I was like, it's a secret? There's no secrets in here. Good.
I also can't remember the exact dates. That's why it's a secret, because I don't want to be like, it's then. And then it's like, no.
When it's not a secret, it'll come up in a strap on the screen now.
Yeah.
And also, the album coming out soon. And you will be excited to go to the Emirates soon because former City player Chloe Kelly is now an Arsenal player. So all things are starting to align for you, Shura. It's nice.
Yeah, it's just I've just been blessed from all angles.
No.
No. I'm really pleased about that. For Chloe and for England, I think also that's just going to be a good thing, and it's a great thing for Arsenal. So
yes.
It's going to be fun.
I
still freak out even like whenever I go and I'm like, that's them.
I know.
Like it's literally them. Like it happened even as a kid. I remember my dad took me to Old Trafford, and I think Peter Schmeichel and Stan walked out, and apparently my eyes were like bulging.
Yeah.
Like he thought my eyes were going to like pop. I was like, this is so weird that this is their job and they are there and I can see them.
Yes. No,
Playing my favourite sport.
There you go. It's all magic. It is. It's a good time. It really is a good time. Yeah. And keep us posted on the single.
I will. I should. I mean, it's out. It's out.
Tell us. So I've got Too Sad for My Friends.
So the album is called I Got Too Sad for My Friends. The single is called Recognise.
Perfect. And a lot of people will recognise you from Call Me a Lioness.
They might. They might not. They might be like, who the is Shura? And why is she here? She's not even a footballer.
But you will find her on Spotify or wherever you get your tunes.
Yeah, and there's like, you know, fun little treats there. I'm probably supposed to say like, this is it, buy this, it's coming out then, pre-save.
Your managers out there like, yeah, we're going to
I'm so sorry to my record labels who, like, I would like to sell some records at some point, honestly, but it's clearly not in my...
We will put all the details in the bio. Shura, thank you so much for coming on. Good luck for everything ahead and good luck for the Arsenal between now and the end of the season.
Yeah.
Can you win the Champions League at least?
Go on, yeah.
I love that attitude. Shura, best wishes. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for watching The Kickback. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Jump in the comments and we will see you again next week. Bye-bye.